Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. So at the time of this recording, it's January 2nd, 2018, and I just came back from a nostalgic vacation in my hometown, Rowland Heights, California, where I grew up until I left to Georgia to start a new life as a mom and a wife. And I've been back many times, but this was the first time coming back by myself post-divorce with my two boys. I have lots of family and friends in California, and I've been apart from them for many years. All of them understand the struggles I had with my lupus and my marriage. And since the lupus diagnosis, for many years, I was self-absorbed. I felt I was entitled to special attention, and I was always paranoid about my health. Then the marriage. The unnecessary drama in my life was taking a toll on my health and my confidence. And after seeing my friends and family who's put up with me during the darkest moments of my life, I realized how far I've come in completely rewriting my story. At first, I thought I was broken. So as a broken soul with lupus, I sort of gave up. I believed that the life with lupus had everything to fear, that I would become compromised and never the same. And during this trip, I reminisced with my closest friends and family about the past. When we were young and somehow their perception was drastically different from mine. And they felt that I had given up too fast. They didn't understand what was going through my head, what narrative I was choosing to believe. They felt hopeless as they watched me suffer and struggle with fear of my future with lupus. That no matter how much they tried to talk sense into me, there was no changing my own story that would continue to dictate my life for the next 12 years. In truth, though, they shared that they too were scared about the negativity. The over-obsession with my lupus was excessive as they watched me settle in my life. And from getting married to abruptly moving away, I changed from a confident, best-dressed young woman in school to a frail, depressed young woman who withdrew from life. When I recounted their version of the story, I realized that the false story I had been telling myself at the time was completely self-generated. More importantly, that I had the power to change my story. So I have lupus. I may not be able to work full-time, part-time, or ever. Or that I may not have kids. And I can't see the sun, but how do you avoid the sun in California? These were the thoughts in my head at the time. And during the same trip, I went to a hot yoga studio and enjoyed a very challenging hot Bikram yoga class. Not to brag, but I was the best yogi in the room. But as I huffed and puffed in the studio, I recalled crying as the sweat poured down my face. At every turn, when lupus challenged me, I sought out a challenge for myself to overcome yet another lupus flare. You see, at some point, I stopped settling. And when things got so bad in my marriage that it couldn't get any worse, I decided to seek challenges that I could overcome to get stronger. I believe I'm as healthy as I am because I was able to channel the negative into something positive, which explains why my healing method has not only healed me, but made me stronger than before I was diagnosed with lupus. So let's talk a little bit about Hormesis, which is a biological phenomenon where a beneficial effect, such as improved health, stress tolerance, growth, or longevity, results from exposure to low doses of an agent that is otherwise toxic or lethal when given at a higher dose. Such is true for high heat in Bikram yoga. While it was hard in the beginning, when I first got started to get acclimated to the heat, I enjoyed the physical and the mental strength it required to get stronger. Key was to keep showing up, and despite my narrative that I should take it easy because of my lupus. It was the same for being a mom as well. Once I stopped using the excuse of having lupus to pace myself and hold back from enjoying activities with my kids, such as going to amusement parks or going to the swimming pool, for the fear of the sun or even extreme fatigue, I grew stronger and more confident. I'm not saying to force yourself and push, but questioning our narrative and the stories we tell ourselves, like, I'm not smart enough, strong enough, pretty enough, thin enough, healthy enough, are all stories that keep us back from daring to even try. So this year, I'd like to challenge you to take a step forward and lean in, as the COO of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg's book describes. To be clear, I'm not judging nor am I advocating doing exactly what I did. I'm trying to make a point that we tend to have our beliefs that are deeply ingrained in us that keep us from leaning into our lives. We become defined by such stories that are nothing other than myths. They tend to keep us in fear, false experiences appearing real. I don't have all the answers, but certainly for me, in retrospect, it was my subconscious choice to lean into my fear, and that allowed me to grow. I also realized that timing is everything. So if you're hearing or watching or reading this today and you're not in any position to lean in, that's okay. I wasn't ready many times, and as a result, I didn't lean in many times. But for those of you daring to make a change this year, we've got our Reverse Lupus membership launching on January 8th, 2018. And many of you have signed up, and once we hit 200 members, prices will go up. For just $9.99 per month, you'll receive a lifestyle blueprint, accountability, coaching, and a clear guidance on how to transform your life to better serve you and ultimately heal. You'll also receive lots of discounts, and the discounts you'll receive on supplements alone will more than make up the small membership fee. From daily yoga, Pilates, physical therapy-based exercise routines curated by myself to cooking hacks and eating out guides, we've got plans to transform your year so you can reverse lupus in 2018. So please, I urge you to join our movement today. The links are below. I'm so confident this is going to be the best decision. If you know anyone who can benefit from this information, please don't hesitate to share. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening today. And please subscribe to our podcast, leave a review, like our Facebook, Instagram, and leave comments, as I love hearing from every one of you. So until next week, talk soon.